In the last session, we learned regarding an important property of liquids, namely vapor pressure. Today, let us see how the vapor pressure changes when liquids are mixed. Consider the first beaker where we take a liquid A. The attraction in this will be between molecules of A and those molecules which are able to overcome the intermolecular attraction will go to the vapor phase. Consider the second beaker containing liquid B. Here the intermolecular attraction is between B and B molecule, and those molecules which are able to overcome the intermolecular attraction will go to the vapor phase. Now, the two liquids A and B are mixed. A new intermolecular attraction come to the picture now. That is between molecules of A and molecules of B. Molecules of A now trying to go out has to overcome the attraction from A as well as from B. Similarly, molecules of B trying to go out as vapor has to overcome the attraction from B as well as from A. The result is that number of molecules escaping to the vapor phase decreases, and hence vapor pressure of each component in a liquid mixture will be less than that is present in the pure liquid. This relationship is given in terms of a law known as Raoult's law. Raoult's law states that in a mixture of volatile liquids, the partial vapor pressure of each component will be proportional to its mole fraction. Mathematically, we can write Raoult's law as P proportional to X, or the proportionality can be converted into equality by introducing a constant P0. So P will be equal to P0 X. Here P is called the vapor pressure of the component in the solution. X is its mole fraction, and P0 represents vapor pressure of the pure liquid. In this chapter, the superscript 0 is always used for pure component. Raoult's law can also be stated as the partial vapor pressure of a component in a mixture is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure component multiplied by its mole fraction in the mixture. Consider a solution containing two components. We denote them as component 1 and component 2. Then partial vapor pressure of component 1 will be P1 equal to X1 P0 1. X1 is the mole fraction of component 1. P01 is the vapor pressure of pure component 1. Then the partial vapor pressure of component 2 will be equal to X2 into P02. X2 is the mole fraction of second component. P02 is the mole fraction of pure component 2. From the Dalton's law says that the total pressure will be the sum of the partial pressures. So the total pressure of the solution P total, we are using the symbol P total, will be equal to P1 plus P2, or this will be equal to X1 P01 plus X2 P02. Then this equation P totally equal to x1 P01 plus x2 P02 can be written in different ways. We know x1 plus x2, that is sum of the mode fraction, is always equal to 1. We can replace x1 with 1 minus x2, or you can replace x2 with 1 minus x1, and you can have different forms of equations. You need study this equation, and whenever situation comes, you can change x1 or x2. We can see one substitution. Here x1 is substituted by 1 minus x2. So this gives 1 minus x2 into P01 plus x2 into P02. Now when we change the bracket, we get P01 minus x2 P01 plus x2 P02. Now here x2 is a common factor, so this will be P01 plus P02 minus P01 into x2. Let us now see regarding the vapor phase composition. Vapor phase composition means mole fraction of the liquids in the vapor phase. This will be different from mole fraction in the liquid phase. In the two liquids, the liquid having higher vapor pressure is called as more volatile component, and when vaporized, the composition of or the mole fraction of more volatile component increases and that of less volatile component decreases in the vapor phase. The vapor phase composition of component 1 Y1 will be equal to partial pressure of 1 P1 by total pressure. Similarly, vapor pressure composition of component 2 will be equal to Y2 equal to P2 by total pressure. Consider two liquids A and B. Vapor pressure of A, let it be 700 millimeters of mercury. Vapor pressure of B is equal to 500 millimeters of mercury. Now A is having higher vapor pressure, so A is called more volatile component of the mixture. Let XA equal to 0.1 and XB equal to 0.9 in the solution. So in the vapor, XA will go on increasing, and say mole fraction in the vapor phase Ya will be greater than 0.1. B is less volatile, so the value of B will decrease from 0.9, say YB will be less than 0.9. We have studied two laws in solutions. One is Henry's law, another is Raoult's law. According to Henry's law, P equal to KH into X, where KH is the Henry's law constant. According to Raoult's law, P equal to P0 into X. So on comparing the two, we can see that the Henry's law constant is replaced by P0 in Raoult's law. So we can consider Raoult's law as a special case of Henry's law, where the Henry's law constant KH is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure component P0 in the solution. Now let us do some problems relating to the vapor pressure of solutions. Please remember some points while doing problem. The most important thing is that before attempting, start reading the problem carefully, find out what are the data given and write them down. Second point I want to emphasize is that please don't use calculators for working out simple problems. Do it manually. This only will be helping you to appear for entrance examinations. A solution contains 2 moles of methanol and 1 mole of ethanol at a particular temperature. The vapor pressure of pure methanol is 81 kilopascals and that of pure ethanol is 45 kilopascals. What is the total vapor pressure of the solution? Here the two liquids involved are, one is methanol and other is ethanol. You are given the vapor pressures of the pure components and the number of moles. You can write the name of the compound as a subscript to the symbol. So number of moles of methanol is 2 and number of mole of ethanol is 1. So total number of mole is 3. Mole fraction of methanol will be 2 by 3 and mole fraction of ethanol will be 1 by 3. And from Raoult's law we have partial pressure of methanol in the solution will be mole fraction of methanol into vapor pressure of pure methanol. That is equal to 2 by 3 into the vapor pressure 81 gives you 54 kilopascals. Similarly, vapor pressure of ethanol will be equal to mole fraction of ethanol into vapor pressure of pure ethanol. That is equal to 1 by 3 into 45 is equal to 15 kilopascals. The total vapor pressure of the solution will be sum of the vapor pressures of methanol and ethanol. That gives you 54 plus 15 equal to 69 kilopascals. Vapor pressure of chloroform and dichloromethane at 298 Kelvin are 200 millimeters of mercury and 415 millimeters of mercury respectively. 1. Calculate the vapor pressure of the solution prepared by mixing 25.5 gram of chloroform and 40 gram of dichloromethane at 298 Kelvin, and 2. Mole fractions of each component in the vapor phase. So go through the problem and see what are the data given. The first data is vapor pressure of this 200 millimeters of mercury is given. That is the vapor pressure of pure chloroform. So we write as P0 is equal to 200 millimeters. Then you are given the value 415. 415 is the vapor pressure of dichloromethane. So P0 dichloromethane is 415 millimeters. The next value that you are given is 25.5 grams of chloroform. So the weight of chloroform will be 25.5 grams. Then 40 gram of dichloromethane. So weight of dichloromethane is 40 grams. Molar mass of chloroform. So this calculation practice by doing in your mind itself. So 1 carbon 12 plus 1 chlorine, 1 hydrogen and 3 chlorine atom adds to give you 119.5. Similarly for dichloromethane, molar mass is 85. Now, so these are the data given to you. So in order to calculate the vapor pressure of the solution, you should know the mole fractions. And to know mole fractions, you should first know the number of moles. So first let us calculate the number of moles. So number of moles of chloroform will be mass by molar mass. Mass is 25.5, molar mass is 119.5, gives you 0.213. Similarly, number of moles of dichloromethane will be mass 40 grams divided by the molar mass 85. You are getting 0.471. So now you have calculated the number of moles of the two components. Now let us calculate the mole fractions. How will you calculate mole fraction? Mole fraction will be equal to number of moles divided by the total number of moles. Here we have chloroform 0.213 moles and dichloromethane 0.471 moles. So what will be the mole fraction of chloroform now? It will be 0.213 by 0.213 plus 0.471 equals 0.213 by 0.684 gives you a value 0.31. The mole fraction of dichloromethane can be obtained by subtracting this value from 1 and we get as 0.69. So we have now got the mole fraction values of the components. You can calculate the partial vapor pressures. So the partial vapor pressure of the first component, namely chloroform, according to Raoult's law, partial vapor pressure will be equal to mole fraction into vapor pressure of the pure component. That is X chloroform into P0 chloroform. X chloroform is 0.31 and the P chloroform is 200 millimeters. We get as 62 millimeters of mercury. The partial vapor pressure of dichloromethane will be equal to mole fraction of dichloromethane into the pressure of pure dichloromethane. This will be equal to 0.69 is the mole fraction and 415 is its vapor pressure in the pure state. This gives you 286.4 millimeters. Therefore, the total pressure will be equal to partial pressure of chloroform plus partial pressure of dichloromethane. So this will be equal to 62 plus 286.4 equals 348.4 millimeters of mercury. So now let us calculate the vapor phase composition. Vapor phase composition is denoted by the symbol Y, and Y chloroform will be partial pressure of chloroform by the total pressure, that is 62 by 348.4 gives you 0.18. Now the vapor phase composition of dichloromethane will be 1 minus 0.18 equal to 0.82. Third one, the vapor pressure of two liquids A and B are 450 and 700 millimeters of mercury respectively at 350 Kelvin. Find out the composition of the liquid mixture if the total vapor pressure is 600 millimeters of mercury. Also, find out the composition of the vapor phase. Here, the two liquids given are, one is A, other is B. The vapor pressure of pure A is given, vapor pressure of pure B is given. Also, you are given the vapor pressure of the solution obtained by mixing these two. You are asked to calculate the mole fraction of the two liquids in the liquid phase as well as in the vapor phase. Now, what are the data given? First one is vapor pressure of pure A is 450 millimeters, vapor pressure of pure B is 700 millimeters, and the total pressure is given as 600 millimeters. So we have the Raoult's law equation. P total will be equal to XA into P0A plus XB into P0B. Now let us substitute these values. So 600 will be equal to XA into 450 plus XB into 700. So here in this equation we have two unknown values. So here what we do is, instead of XB we substitute 1 minus XA and proceed. So 600 will be equal to XA into 450 plus 1 minus XA into 700, giving you 450 XA plus 700 minus 700 XA, or 250 XA will be equal to 100, or this simplification gives XA value as 0.4 and XB value as 0.6. Now let us calculate the vapor phase composition. So vapor phase composition is equal to partial pressure by the total pressure. So YA, the mole fraction of A in the vapor phase, will be equal to the partial pressure is mole fraction into the vapor pressure of A divided by the total pressure, gives a value of 0.3. So YB will be 1 minus 0.3 equal to 0.7. One is heptane and octane form an ideal solution at 373 Kelvin. The vapor pressures of the two liquid components are 105.2 kilopascals and 46.8 kilopascals respectively. What will be the vapor pressure of the solution obtained by mixing 26 grams of heptane and 35 grams of octane? Second is, vapor pressure of benzene is 75 torr and that of toluene is 22 torr. Calculate the vapor pressure of the solution obtained by mixing 78 grams of benzene and 46 grams of toluene. So this will be the answer. Please do it at home. See, we will not be in a position to work out all problems in this class. So work out more problems from your textbooks. Just like gases are classified on the basis of gas laws, solutions are also classified into ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions, whether they obey Raoult's law or not. So this we will be seeing in the next session.